music ends, when the footlights dim to faint applause, disbelief suspends, searching for a sign of what once was. In the air a note is ringing, with reverberation through the hall, when the music ends. Was it hard to say? 'Cause it never seemed to come out right. Isn't that the way? With the midnight dream and morning light, would it start to make you happy if I dry your tears and stroke your hair? Well, it's hard to say. So a lyric forms around the things we said, and I'm working out a rhythm in my head, but it all gives way to existential dread. If we meet as friends, will you give a smile and shake my hand? Guess it all depends on conditions we don't understand. With a look I'll know the answer as you're slipping through the backstage door, when the music ends. Music ends, when the music ends.
Paul, it is an honor to have you here today, my friend.
Thank you.
It truly is. Like, we're just so grateful. The performance you just shared with us, I swear we're going to be humming it for the rest of the week. It was beautiful. Would you like to tell us a little about that song to start off?
It's pretty much a brand new song. I'm not normally in the habit of explaining the meanings of songs.
Yeah.
But that song, I don't know. One of my favorite comedians, James Acaster, to quote him, "Death comes to us all."
I love it.
So
well said. Well said. Very well. Very well. Well, since we're diving into talk about your musical journey a little bit, would you tell us? Can you share with us a little bit about your musical roots? Like, when did you first get drawn into music? What really sparked that journey?
Well, I've been interested in music since I can remember. I have memories of my dad told me a story of when I was a very small child. He was walking by my bedroom door late at night, and he could hear me in the bed. I'm supposed to be asleep, and he could hear me in there just singing to myself. So he kind of poked his head in and said, "All right, it's time to go to bed now, son." "Okay, good night, Daddy." He said he walked by an hour later and here. So I've been singing
Your whole life?
Yeah, literally my whole life. And so that's kind of where it started. And then when I went to school, to kindergarten, somebody came into the classroom and said, we're going to be giving violin lessons in the mornings if anybody would be interested. And I was like, I'll do that. So I started violin at age
Yeah.
4
Wow.
and played all through high school. So I started with that and then progressed to guitar at age 7 and started playing piano around age 10.
Wow.
Kind of messed around with the drums around that time as well. I'll never forget the first time I saw my uncle's Peavey bass guitar. It's the first time I'd ever seen a bass guitar. And I opened up this brand new thing, and it's just this huge piece of wood that looks like a spaceship. And there's all these switches, and look at how thick those strings are. And
Oh yeah.
so that's I'll never forget that. And that was my introduction to bass.
Oh
And,
wow.
so
That's exciting. So that's really cool. Were there what would you say were some of your standout musical influences early on?
well, the Beatles have always been there. I get my musical influences from 2 camps in particular. My mother, who listened to an awful lot of Beatles and Rolling Stones, and the Moody Blues were her favorite band.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I was well steeped in the Moody Blues. I remember her listening to a lot of Moody Blues.
Great band.
So
yeah.
I kind of got a lot of that. You know, she gave me my love for Steely Dan and for The Who and things like that. And then the other camp would have been my grandparents on my father's side, who were from Oklahoma originally, and they listened to old school country. So that's where my love
Okay.
of Hank Williams and Johnny Cash and Charlie Pride and Loretta Lynn, Patsy Cline, all that stuff. That's where that came from.
So going back to kind of what you were saying about your earliest influences, I read somewhere recently that you gained some formal classical vocal training through the Texas Boys Choir.
Yes.
How did that shape your technique?
A lot. The boys choir experience at that time, and I'm sure it's probably continuing today, they bring you in and they don't just start teaching you proper vocal technique.
Mm-hmm.
You start learning actual music theory, and we would have these very elaborate music theory classes,
Mm-hmm.
to where, I mean, at age 12, 13, they said, you guys have been taught enough theory to where you could pass an intro
Wow.
theory test in college.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was
So it was a huge,
important
yeah.
to my musical upbringing. The main thing that I got from the boys choir, along with learning how to blend your vocals with
Sure, yeah.
everyone else, was solfege. Solfege I hear everything in solfege now. It's
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
really been handy for me.
That's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. You know, coming from someone who also grew up in singing in boys' choirs and
Mhm.
sang in choir when I went to UNT,
Mhm.
I know how that shaped me as a vocalist. So when I
Right.
read that, I was like, I have to ask Paul.
Yeah.
Because I know it's a formative thing because you start to think of harmonies in a completely different way
Right.
coming from that world.
Yep.
So I think that's so wonderful.
Thank
Now, since we've kind of talked a little bit about your upbringings,
Mhm.
your musical journey, let's kind of dive into a little bit of what you've done. Like you've been involved in numerous bands, like
Mhm.
numerous bands. Like
Mhm.
I tried to figure it all out, and it's probably too many to list just because it's that impressive. But some of the groups you've been a part of, like Trio of One, Big Drama, is that
Mhm.
correct? Double
Mhm.
Plus Pop,
Mhm.
the Volaires, the Trimbles, the Happiness Factor, and
Yeah.
so many more. Can you kind of walk us through that timeline a little bit? And maybe even if you wouldn't mind, tell us a little bit about what those projects taught you.
Trio of One was an alternative band. I think we started in 88, late 87, early 88. And that comprised myself, Ezra Boggs on vocals, my friend Sean Phillips on drums, and John Thomason on bass, who's now the bass player in Little Big Town.
Oh, okay,
So
cool.
that's where he's at. And that band was, I mean, it was kind of an amalgamation of everything that was going on musically at that time in alternate rock.
Yeah.
We were trying to be the Smiths. We were trying to be REM. We were Camper Van Beethoven.
Of
we
course.
were The Cure. That was kind of our thing. Was we were drawing from all of those influences of that day, and that was a fun band. And we would.
It sounds like it.
It was
yeah.
a very collaborative group, and yeah, we had a good time. Those were the days when we would play at the Hop over on Berry Street, in Fort Worth, and pack the place out. We'd do gigs over there a couple times a month, along with all the other. That was back when you could play Club Dada 3 times a month.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And we would wind up doing about 20 gigs a month.
That's
just
amazing.
all over the Metroplex.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And that's kind of unheard of.
It is,
now.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I totally get it.
That's what we did.
Yeah, and my mother-in-law has told me extensively about the cool music she saw growing up at the Hop, like repeatedly. I wouldn't surprise me if she's seen your band a time or two. Yeah. I'm curious, what was the big drama experience like? Like, do you remember when and why it began or ended?
When Trio folded, I was living in Denton. I just moved to Denton and wanted to kind of see who I could connect with out there. And so I remember I wrote out this extensive flyer and put it up all over the place about wanting to start a new band, and here's the influences that I'm drawing from, and et cetera, and got a few replies, and one of them was from a guy named Danny Delamatier, who ended up being this brilliant guitar player and songwriter, great singer, and he still is.
Yeah.
And so Danny and I put together Big Drama, and that was a fun band to be in, and
it sounds like it.
Yeah, with Danny and I both bringing songs in, and it worked really well, I thought, and yeah.
That's amazing. That sounds amazing. I feel like I'm going to go down a deep dive of your catalog, if you will, as much as I can find.
Right on.
After this, just because I've been so fascinated by the stories you've been sharing today. Can I ask what drew you to form Double Plus Pop? Like, what role do you feel you played in its creative direction?
Well, that was another creation of mine. At that point, when we stopped Big Drama, I left that band, and they morphed into the Days and put out a great album under the name The Days that has a couple of my songs on it. But anyway,
that's awesome. That's cool.
After that, I wanted to put together a new outfit that was going to be strictly a power pop unit.
Awesome.
Because I was, at that time especially, I was heavily into Cheap Trick, Big Star, Matthew Sweet, all that great power pop stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that was kind of a thing at that time. There was a moment there in the early to mid 90s where that was kind of becoming a thing again, a popular genre. So we put together Double Plus Pop as a actual power pop band, strictly power pop.
Amazing.
And that was fun, and great guys in that band. I love those dudes. In fact, when we released the album finally that we had recorded, we were asked to play over at Fry Street Fair, the revived Fry Street Fair, and so we got together and we did a show, a Double Plus Pop show.
The recent one?
Yeah.
That
was fun.
Cool.
Yeah, it was good.
We were supposed to play that one too, and it got, for one reason or other, we couldn't make it. But either way, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Now, in that band, Double Plus Pop, correct me if I'm wrong, recorded tracks that were unreleased until recently, right?
Yes.
How did it feel to kind of rediscover and finalize those songs for a release in the pandemic era?
It was interesting to hear something that you had done, 22, 23 years earlier, and hadn't revisited since then. I mean,
Wow.
hadn't even mixed the record. Coy Green found the recordings and decided to start working on them while we were in lockdown. And he sent me the songs, and I sent them to the guys, and we all listened. And one of the songs, none of us even remembered. I listened to the song. I was like, I don't remember this song at all. And I went back and looked in my binder of lyrics from that time.
Yeah.
From Double Us Pop. There's the lyrics for it. None of us remember the song at all, but there it is. And that's us playing it.
That's amazing.
It's a song called Coincide.
Okay.
So we were all just like, what is this?
So how do you feel like that affected like your impression of the release? Like getting to hear these songs all over again, remixed, you're revisiting them for the first time. And how long was it? Like 20 years or something like that?
23 years.
That's special. That's powerful.
The album was recorded by Coy Green. We did a lot of recording over at Salim's garage, which eventually became Pleasantry Lane Studios. Right. But at the time, it was still just the garage that we rehearsed in, you know? All it had was the acoustic treatment that Salim and I had stapled to all four walls, and the carpet squares that we had thrown down on the floor. Awesome. And Coy just set up his recording equipment over there in that corner, and we mic'd it all up, and we would just record this stuff live and then do overdubs in our rehearsal space. So we did all of that, and then we wound up not doing anything with it.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it's 22 years later, and Coy starts mixing this stuff and sending it over to us. And I got to be honest, this stuff was recorded in 2002. So it sounds like that time.
Sure.
You know, and as I'm listening to it all, I'm thinking three things: too loud, too fast, too much.
Oh boy.
And so that became the name of the album.
I love that. That's amazing. Now you also play in like a number of tribute groups and have over the years, like a Beatles tribute that we all know and love here in DFW, Hard Night Stay. And there's a number of other 60s related groups. Can you kind of describe those roles and maybe what performing others' music has taught you?
Hard Night's Day, the aforementioned Danny Delamateer, he was brought in to augment that band probably around 98, 99, somewhere in there. But anyway, so Danny was playing in that band, and Chris Holt was in the band at the time, and they were doing Friday nights at Club Dada and doing very well with it. It was going very well. And eventually Danny was feeling the pull of moving out to Los Angeles and doing advertising art out there. So he made the decision to make that move. So when he did, he said, you guys should get Paul to step in and take my place. So I did, and wound up staying for, 26 years later.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, I've been in the DFW or DDFW music community for 24, almost 25 years now. As long as I can remember, y'all have been one of my favorites to see. And I'm not just saying that sincerely. It's a beautiful show. If you haven't seen it, highly encourage it. And, you've also shared stages and even studio spaces with a veritable, like, who's who, including like David Garza, Sarah Hickman, the Toadies, Joe Ely, Ian McClagan, Brave Combo. I mean, I could just keep going on and on and on, including like, am I correct when I say you performed with Peter Buck as well?
Well, I haven't performed with Peter. I've recorded with Peter.
Okay.
It's a project that my old dear friend Bucks Burnett put together.
R.I.P. Bucks.
Yes. Yeah. I was in Bucks's band, the Valares, and then after that, he wanted to put together a thing. This is like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
That he called the Rock Stars, and that was comprised of him, myself, Alejandro Escovedo, Peter Buck, Scott McCoy from the Young Fresh Fellows and REM
My goodness.
and the -5, and Chris France and Tina Weymouth from the Talking Heads. So we put that together, and it the whole idea is that we're a recording entity. It's not.
Yeah.
We're not going to tour or anything like that. Buck's tried to label it a fake band.
Sure. Yeah. In the most
So,
Bucks fashion. I
that's
love
right.
that. I love that.
But we only ended up being able to record 2 or 3 songs, and I think only one of them has ever been released, and I can't recall exactly under what auspices it was
Wow.
put out. But anyway, so yeah, that's how I've worked with Peter, and he's a swell guy.
That's so wonderful. I mean, amidst all of these amazing people you've collaborated with, is there an experience that really stands out? And can I ask why?
Did a gig opening for the Moody Blues.
Wow.
At a private party in Dallas, Christmas party. And as soon as they started, I rushed over and saw their set from the side of the stage. And as I'm watching, I noticed that over on this one touring case, there's a Gibson guitar case sitting open. I'm thinking, why on earth is that guitar case sitting there?
Yeah, right.
So as the guys are coming off stage, John Lodge hands off his bass to the guitar tech, and everybody's handing off their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So Justin Hayward comes off stage. He doesn't hand that red 335 to the guitar tech. He walks over to that case. He puts that guitar in. He kind of rubs it with the cloth, puts that little protective cloth over it, closes it up, and that he takes it with him wherever he goes. And I thought, that's a man who loves his guitar.
Yes, that's
the guitar that he bought whenever he joined the Moody Blues.
Wow.
Well, one of them. That's he rented that guitar and decided it's the one that he had to have. And so once he found out someone else had rented it as well, when he went in to try to buy it, he had to go hunt the guy down at, I need that guitar.
Oh my gosh.
So, and then he also bought a white Telly, which is what they handed him when he walked back on stage to do Ride My Seesaw, because that's the guitar he played on that record.
Cool.
But yeah, that was really cool, and getting to meet those guys.
Yeah, I could imagine.
I mean, Justin Hayward going, "Oh, you were the guys that were playing beforehand. Man, you guys sounded great." And I thought, Justin Hayward spoke to me as a peer. Yeah. How cool is that?
I have made it. Yes.
That was pretty amazing.
That's amazing. And I have to ask, because I have had some own experiences shared with Ian McClagan. I'd love to hear more about your experience working with him.
So Mac recorded with us when we did the second Valares album. The Valares was a band comprised of Bucks Burnett, myself, and Dare Mason, who is a British gentleman, an engineer. He used to work at the Townhouse in London and recorded with everybody you can think of. Anybody that would have recorded at the Townhouse, he worked with them. He's on McCartney records. He's on Queen records. He's on Freddie Mercury records.
Just name it.
Yeah, everybody. And, at one point he was naming off I worked on Peter Gabriel stuff and worked on it. But when he said that he actually engineered a Prince.
What?
Yeah, a Prince recording.
Cool.
I was like, wait a minute. Because I'm a huge Prince fan.
Same, yeah. I'm a Minnesota boy, so I get it. Yeah.
Tell me exactly how that went down. But anyway, he was an engineer at the Townhouse. Grew up with, he was born in Liverpool, grew up with Marty Wilson Piper, guitar player for the Church. They were childhood friends, and they've got a band together called Noctorum. But anyway, Dare was the third member of the Valares.
Okay.
And that group, we were putting together a second album that we were recording in England and over here. And when we were doing some of the recording out here, Buck started, opening up his Rolodex to, who can I have to come in and do this and do that? And I'm going to call Ian. So he calls up Ian, and Ian's like, sure, come on down. So we went down to Austin and set up shop in his house to record him doing some organ parts on a few songs. And
that's so cool.
And he and his wife, Kim, were just really wonderful people. And
I had the pleasure of getting to work with him a little bit over the years, and he was a dear person. I
Great
love
guy.
him to death. That's wonderful to hear. I had to ask.
Oh yeah.
Now you've been working, and this is for our dear friend, our mutual friend Salim Nuralla. You have been working on a solo record for over 14 years. Am I correct?
Yes. Well, a lot longer than
Longer than that?
14.
Okay. You have to forgive me.
Like
I'm going
about-
off
Yeah.
little tidbits, but
it's a little over 20 years.
wow. I gotta ask. I mean, that's amazing. That's brilliant. We were just talking about another friend who's had a record that's been on deck for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
I have to know, and I feel like I speak for both of us here. Tell me, what has kept the project going, and what's the vision for it?
What has kept it going?
Yeah,
Just
the fire, right? I mean, I understand the long.
how do marriages stay together? You just
Well
don't
said.
get divorced.
Yeah, well said.
How do you keep recording a record? You just, chip away at it whenever you've got to. I mean, that record, I would go sometimes 2 or 3 years between recording sessions for that album.
Wow.
So it's just, when I had something to contribute and was able to find a little bit of money to where I could
Sure.
get in there and do it, then
Yeah.
that's what I would do. But I don't have a label backing me, and I don't have,
Of course.
I just do what I can when I can.
And that's what a lot of people forget or fail to realize sometimes is artistry really is like a labor of love and a lesson in patience.
Sure.
More times than not. And so I really admire artists that can have a body of work for so long and go, no, not yet. Nope, not yet. Nope, because it is a lesson in patience versus me as an artist. When I go into a record, I feel like I'm working on some ridiculous deadline, which I call myself on often because I feel like deadlines are killers for artists in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually respect the longevity of working on a record for an extended period of time to get it right. So
Yeah.
I had to ask because I think that's just beautiful. Would you mind sharing a theme or two from that project, if you don't mind? Maybe something that you feel like your listeners will really connect with. I know you don't like to necessarily dive into the concept or the
Right.
meaning of the song,
Right.
but if there's a theme you wouldn't mind sharing, I'd love to pick your brain on that.
Songs of loss and redemption.
Love it. Love it.
How's that?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's I mean, the whole time that I was recording that record, past 20 something years, there have been a lot of things going on in my life, of course. But a good majority of that record was during a time of a lot of upheaval for me personally. So all of that is reflected in that record, sometimes in, for me, awkward or embarrassing ways. There are some lyrics there that I absolutely cringe at.
Oh, sure.
So,
I understand that. I do. Like, you, especially when you look back at records, and for me personally, from records from the past, having played for 24 years now, I have a few that I'm like, ooh, like that was a very brutally honest line or whatever it may be. But I think there's something really beautiful also in that, so I'm really excited to hear this, to be honest with you. Yeah.
The plan right now is to, because nobody ingests full albums anymore, unfortunately.
It's sad, isn't it?
That's just the state of affairs at this point musically.
Yeah.
So the plan right now is to try to release this material in a series of singles, kind of like what Salim's been doing lately.
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of follow his lead on that.
Smart.
And so that's the idea, is that we're going to go ahead and get all this stuff. I mean, all the recording has been done. We just need to do a lot of mixing. I talked to James Driscoll last night about him doing some mastering of the stuff.
Oh, wonderful.
But we're going to start releasing these things. I hope to get the first one out by the end of the year.
That's amazing.
And that will be a track that was recorded by a band I was in called the Trimbles, which was Matt Trimble, our namesake, on drums, and let's see who else is on that record. John Leffler from Dashboard Confessional. And
wow. I was just going to ask you, the John from Dashboard? That's amazing. Yeah.
John's playing piano on that track, I think. And Chris Holt on guitar, and
course.
I'm on guitar and on bass.
Wow.
And it's a really cool song that I really like a lot, called "Still in Love," and that's going to be the first single.
That's exciting. And you're hoping the end of this year?
Hopefully
or
by the end
in
of the year.
Oh, I cannot wait to hear about
Yeah,
it. That
we'll
sounds
see how it goes.
amazing. Really does. We've talked a lot about your early days, your career, your journey. And, we even referenced Club Dada and a few of the other local haunts. But one thing I'd like to know is there a favorite Dallas venue to perform in, whether relevant and open to this day or from back in the day?
It was always fun playing at the Hop. That was just our home base at that time.
Yeah. And that became the Aardvark,
that
correct?
became the Aardvark.
Yeah.
But the Hop was, that was familiar to us, and we loved that venue. In Denton, we would play an awful lot at Rick's Place.
And
that's that I've got a lot of history with that particular club, and playing with Big Drama there, and playing with David Garza there. We wound up recording David recorded a live record there that I'm on, that he released, I think, last year.
Oh, I have.
Loved playing at Caravan of Dreams back in the day. Played there a few times with Trio of One. Played there with Sarah Hickman a couple of times.
Wow.
Which was great.
Yeah.
Love Sarah. Dallas venues, Club Dada was our mainstay. We played a lot at Clearview. Trio of One, I think, was the last band to ever play Theater Gallery under Russell Hobbs' ownership.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we were the last band to play there.
That's amazing.
But we used to play there quite a bit, and the Prophet Bar. Those were great places. We used to rehearse on the roof of the Prophet Bar.
I
back in
miss
88, 89.
I miss that old venue for sure. I mean, Deep Ellum has changed so much for sure.
Sure.
And, the music community's changed so much, but
Right.
I totally agree with you. And I have so many fond memories as early young Matthew Gray as a musician wearing flannel and long ass hair, playing at Rick's. It was my first introduction to Denton. Did you ever get to play at the Argo? I have to ask.
Yeah, we played a lot there.
Oh,
yep.
Yep. That's a venue that I always wished I had had the pleasure.
Yeah,
of performing.
we played there quite a bit, and that was a unique venue. We used to play there a lot, and at the Aardvark and places like that. But we played there a lot with, like we'd play with Pop Poppins a lot. We'd play with the Toadies. I'd wind up playing a couple of gigs with the Moon Festival out there. That was a great venue.
That's absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Dave's Art Pawn was a great venue to play at back in the day. And of course, we did plenty of gigs at Clearview and Trees whenever it first opened.
Oh, yeah.
Like that, yeah.
Well, and I even remember back in the old days, the old Dan's Bar. Like that was like
the original Dan's.
Yeah, the original Dan's. Yeah, that was, most people are totally unfamiliar, but that old Dan's Bar, which, I guess if you're a Dentonite now would be Dusty's.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe, if memory serves me correctly. Yep. But yeah, it's so weird how much history is kind of music history especially, tucked into every corner of Denton in our lovely little music community here. You've also have a bit of a presence on YouTube, right? With groups like Revolution 9.
Revolution 9 was a 60s band that I put together. The idea was to have an amalgamation of a lot of different 60s hits, all in one place. Just not just Beatle music. Yeah. And that band was a lot of fun.
So, I mean, I've seen some videos. It looked like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What do you feel like drives your interest and your passion, or the force behind your interest in those particular eras? And
paying the bills.
Good answer. Yeah.
Tribute bands. I mean, Dallas is the tribute band capital of the world.
It's true.
And it's really gotten outrageous. It's
out of control.
I hate to say it, but I'm part of the problem. I'm contributing to the problem here. But I like to keep the lights on too.
I get it. I totally understand.
So that's where that comes from. And it's I mean, it served me well.
Of course,
All
yeah.
the different
Oh yeah.
things that I've done, and Revolution 9 was a lot of fun and great guys, and I don't regret doing any of that stuff.
Oh,
And,
sure.
and the Who band that I do now, and playing with Thin White Dukes, doing the Bowie stuff, that's all great. And I you know,
Oh, it's fun. Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
I like all those people, and I love playing all that music. It's just, I really wish that the market was open, a little more open to original music
Mhm.
now as it was back in the day. But there are a lot of things that are different from now from back then. And the main thing, I got to give George Gamark some props here. George started the Edge KDGE
Okay.
radio
Okay.
station.
Yeah.
He was the guy that decided to play local bands during drive time
Oh, okay.
at that time, early 90s.
Yeah, yeah.
And into the 2000s. That was his idea. And because he did that, we all of a sudden had kids showing up to all of our shows and buying our merch and
Wow.
et cetera, et cetera. And that was a huge, proponent. That was a huge
Oh, yeah.
propelling motion for all of us to keep doing this work and be able to go out and do small tours here and there.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that we did. I have to say, the power of radio at that time was still, it's pre-internet.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah.
And that's where I think a lot of our power locally was coming from, was the fact that George was able to push us forward in drive time.
That's amazing. And yeah, I guess there's a lot of young musicians out there, I imagine, that forget that a lot of us cut our teeth with radio and having good distribution. I mean, that was also a time where a record label was king.
Right.
And you also couldn't get into a studio without one.
Right.
So I think it's wonderful to touch on. Correct me if I'm wrong, but was it Josh who took over that and started the local Edge?
Yeah, Josh Venable, who was a huge Trio of One fan and
great guy.
And yeah, he's a
huge
sweetheart.
Supporter of all of us. Just wonderful guy.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, Paul.
Yeah.
I love hearing that. Now, we'll turn a little bit, but you're also a music instructor and a producer, right? Am I correct in saying that? How do you feel like, now I've also come from that world. I've been a vocal teacher for many, 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 many years. So I know how it influences my creative identity, if you will. How do you feel like it influences yours?
That's a good question. How does it influence?
Well, and I'll even throw this at you as a voiceover artist as well, right?
Yes.
Do you find that voice control or interpretation in one sphere feeds the other?
No, it depends. It depends on what you're wanting to do with your voice and what your voice is, suited for.
Yeah.
What it's, when you're talking about vocal training, for music, it depends on what it is that their voice is conditioned to do, and what it is that they want to do. One thing that I think kind of goes against the grain nowadays concerning what we consider to be great vocals are things like American Idol and The Voice and things like that, where a lot of people today have been conditioned to think, okay, if you're going to be a good singer, you have to sound like this.
Right.
This is what everyone wants. And we don't want anything that goes outside of this,
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. And
whereas, Tom Waits, the man's a national treasure.
Yeah.
He would have been on the gag reel for American Idol.
For sure. Yeah. It's wild to fathom.
Yeah.
It really is.
Bowie, they would have said, that's weird.
Yeah, it's true. Dylan. I mean, we could go on and on and on and on and on.
So,
Yeah.
It depends on what it is that you do. And you've got to have an open mind to that. And so I try to remember that whenever I'm, instructing people vocally anyway, to find what it is that they sound good at and try to, encourage that,
That's phenomenal advice. Truly phenomenal advice. Now, talking about a little bit more about your voiceover work, is there a project you were really excited about that you got to be a part of? I do a little bit of that myself, so I understand.
Yeah, I mean, there are a number of things. I remember this one gig that I did. Somebody hired myself and the McCartney singer as well from Hard Night's Day. They brought us in to do all the vocals for all these Beatles songs that had all been recorded and blended together at 120 beats
Okay.
per minute.
Yeah.
And with the idea that it was something that this is music that you would exercise to.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we
Okay.
did a whole CD's worth
What?
of that stuff.
That's
So
interesting.
I've got a copy somewhere. So.
Yeah, I would love to
It was
hear
interesting. It was
that.
interesting. Yeah.
I would love to hear that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. When you look back, and I know another loaded question, but what would you say, which part of your musical journey, band, studio, teaching, do you feel may have shaped you the most?
There's a moment where I walked past my uncle's bedroom,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a guitar player. All my mother's side of the family, they were all musically inclined. And he's in there playing guitar, and he's playing a Beatle record. And the song he's playing is Dizzy Miss Lizzy. And he then leaves, and I go into his room, and I look, and I see the record, and I'm like, okay, which song was it? So I find Dizzy Miss Lizzy, and I'm listening to it over and over and over. And I look at his guitar, and I think to myself, okay, somewhere on that thing are these notes, and I just have to find them. So I pick up his guitar, and I start figuring it out. And by the time he gets back home, I'm like, hey, look what I figured out. And I put the record on, and I play the da 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 da.
That's awesome.
The little lick that goes throughout the song.
Yeah.
And he just goes, let me show you a few chords. So he shows me a few chords, and that's where that all started. So I'd say that's pretty formative.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. That's
sitting
beautiful.
in my uncle's bedroom every weekend, listening to Beatle records, the Music Man original Broadway soundtrack.
Yes, absolutely.
Rolling Stones records, Who records, The Kinks,
It's
all that stuff.
absolutely. It just kind of
Queen.
shapes you
Yeah,
in a really beautiful way.
that's what I would consider musically my formative period.
Mhm.
That's what informs me, is that music.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful, brother. If I may ask, what at this point, and I get it, we have had very different careers, but we've both been playing for decades and decades and decades. And so I know I still have aspirations and goals and dreams as an artist and a musician, even almost 25 years in. For you, I mean, how long have you been playing now, if I may ask?
Playing,
Music.
well, if I started violin at age 4 and I'm now 57, so
Yeah, there we go.
whatever that is.
Absolutely. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
What's a goal or a dream you still hope to explore in music?
Ooh.
A genre you haven't tried, a collaboration you still long for, maybe a milestone you hope to hit.
So I've got a big love for late 70s, early 80s electronic music, not strictly electronic, but stuff that also has guitars and drums.
Sure,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm a huge Devo fan.
Absolutely.
I love Thomas Dolby,
Mhm.
the Corgi. I'm into a lot of that kind of stuff.
Right on, right on.
And I always wanted to do some sort of project where I get to kind of play around with that genre.
Yeah, that's
It hasn't happened yet. but,
exciting though. That's on the horizon.
well, we'll see.
Potentially, yeah.
Like I said, I'm 57, so we'll see.
You're
where that
still
goes.
young, brother. You got this. You got this.
I don't know. We'll
You know,
see.
and you really have had quite the career. You've moved between tribute bands, original groups, session work, teaching, solo ambitions.
Mhm.
Let me ask you. I know how hard it is because I am also an eager beaver when it comes to the arts. I want my hands in everything. I want to be a part of everything. I want to be exploring everything. How do you balance all of that?
Very carefully. I always tell people, they're like, man, can't believe that, you're doing what you do And I'm like, well, I can't believe it either. I feel that I'm very fortunate that I
Yeah.
still am able to, somehow eke out a living
Mm-hmm.
by making music.
Yeah.
It's not the easiest thing in the world. And, I'm broke a lot of the time,
Sure.
but, I'm not out there digging a ditch for a living. So
Absolutely.
I consider it an absolute privilege. But at the same time, I mean, a lot of people are like, how is it that you've been able to keep doing this? It's like, I'm too stupid to stop.
I get it. Yeah.
It's
impossible for you. Yeah, I can't. I'm with you. Yeah.
I'm too dumb to quit.
Yeah. And I've met so many artists and musicians from all different eras, all different generations, all different genres. And I feel like that is the one common answer. We're all there together. It's like, no matter what I do, no matter smart or stupid, this is who I am. This is what I do. It inspires me. It invokes a fire in my soul.
There's a there's an old adage that if you're going to be a musician, you should definitely have a plan B.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And going against that logic, I've told many students who are like, what if I really think that I can do it? What advice would you give me? I'm like, look, if you really think
right.
that no, I don't just want to do this. This is what I have to do, and I know that I can. That's great. I said, the best advice I can give you, honestly, is what your parents are not going to want me to tell you, and that is to not have a plan B.
Just dive in.
And just dive in, and I mean work hard.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's what it takes.
And that it even goes back to, and I was speaking to another artist friend of mine recently, and we were kind of joking because there was a younger artist around us, and they looked at us both and said, well, hey, if I can ask you both, you've got 20 something years, you've got 30 something years. What do we do? And I was immediately reminded of my young self going to see live bands. And I think we've even talked about this on the show before, but the common answer from all musicians is just play. Just play.
Yeah.
Get out there.
Yeah.
I mean, have a plan, but play.
Right.
Because there's no other way to make a name for yourself in the arts than to make it, right? To get out there and actually make that art, to share it with others.
Well, there's another part of me that wants to say, you know what? If you figure it out, you let me know.
Yeah, same. Yeah, 100%.
Especially nowadays with the music industry the way it is. I've got a crazy story.
Please.
My friend Allison Smith, she knew Quincy Jones for many years and was good friends with Quincy. And she's played me, phone messages that Quincy left at like 3 a.m. when he was drunk and stuff like that.
How cool. Yeah.
So, but she was telling me one day about this conversation she was having with Quincy, where he was talking about, I was doing some recording recently and I've got this, this group of material together and, thinking about maybe releasing it as an album. But, at this point, I'm not really sure what the point is of doing that. And I haven't figured out, it's like, how do you properly promote an album anymore? Allison, if you've got any ideas, let me know. Quincy Jones is asking a photographer in Dallas
wild
how to sell a record.
That's how much the industry has changed.
That's how much the industry has changed.
Yeah. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. That's a beautiful story and a beautiful point to make for sure. I wanted to also ask if you were to maybe go back to one of these early projects we referenced, maybe a lyric or something, if there was something you could change, what would it be? Would you?
Yeah, as I said earlier, there are a number of songs on the as yet unreleased first Paul Averitt solo record that I listen to and I absolutely wince at the lyrical content, sometimes the musical content. There's lyrics in one of the Double Plus Pop songs that this one line that I'm like, why did I word it that way? It would have been so much artfully worded if I had said this, and it's so simple and it says the exact same thing. So there's always things that you're going to listen to and go, I wish I had done this or wish I could have altered that. But really, you just have to leave those things as just a document of where you were at that moment. Pete Townsend is very proud of all of the records that he's put out and that The Who put out, even if they're not considered very strong albums. He's like, that's where I was as an artist at that time. If anybody has an issue with it, I don't care.
Tough. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I love hearing that. I fully agree with that mentality. And that's also why I love asking that questions, because you often find that's the answer. Artists all feel like, that's who I was then.
And he says that from a point of embarrassment about certain things.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't think that's a great song. I would have written that lyric differently today. You know, he's very brutally honest about stuff like that. So I have an appreciation for that, and just say, let it be what it is.
Yeah, I love that. I completely agree with you. As we're kind of leaning into closing questions, one thing I love to ask is, who are some of your favorite local bands or bands that you admire in the DDFW community right now? Again, loaded question, because, just a little tidbit for our viewers. If you are unaware, Denton, Dallas, and Fort Worth is really chock full of some of Texas's best performers, players, and artists. I sincerely believe, we love you, Austin, but oh my gosh.
Right.
We're kind of where it's at here in DDFW.
Right.
So it's a big question, but who are some of your favorite local acts?
Well, my friends in Rose Garden Funeral Party are great.
Wonderful.
Leah and Will are old dear friends of mine. I've known them since they were kids.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And helped teach them. And so it's great to see them out doing their thing.
Yes.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I love hearing that. Well, let me also say, on that note, is there any advice you would give to new artists and bands, or bands looking for a lifelong career in the arts and music?
Again, if they figure it out, let me know.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, just keep in mind that, a band is just like any relationship. And people will come and go. You just have to be patient and understanding. And that's something that has taken me a long time to figure out. And I'm still not perfect at it.
Sure. Yeah. I understand.
But if you're together with a group of people and trying to make it work, just keep in mind that you've got to work together as a team and do your best to put your best foot forward. I know that sounds really trite and simplistic, but it's true.
It is true.
You've got to really, make sure that what you're throwing out there is the absolute best that you think that this could be, and not just, now that sounds pretty good.
Right. Yeah.
That
Make
sounds
it your best.
That sounds kind of like a Nirvana song. So let's do it like that. It's like, mess around with the arrangement, mess around with the instrumentation.
Get weird.
Absolutely. Yeah. Listen to stuff that is outside of your wheelhouse, and try to find elements within that you can glean some sort of musical inspiration from.
That's outstanding advice. Outstanding advice. I've got just a couple more for you, Paul, but over your decades of creativity, how do you feel your relationship with music itself may have changed? What keeps you writing, playing, teaching, performing in general, even now?
Well, performing in general, once again, it's great to be able to feed myself.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm fortunate to get to do that the way I do with a lot of different entities. So I've got, along with Hard Night's Day and the Bowie thing, I've also got a Who band that I front called Who's Best. That is a lot of fun.
I'm sure.
What an amazing band. And,
my gosh.
We're losing, unfortunately. Michael Richardson's not going to be our bass player anymore.
Oh, no.
No, yeah, Big Mike's having to step down for just time reasons. He needs less things to do. But we're bringing in Mike Dane.
Wow.
So,
my God.
I mean,
just a beast of a band. Period.
Yeah. So he's literally the best bass player in Dallas.
Wow.
So, yeah,
that's amazing.
So Mike's going to be amazing. But so doing things like that and playing with Tony Kishman, doing the McCartney thing that we do around the country, and playing with Max Weinberg, doing, covers, but playing with a powerhouse like Max.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's life-changing and
so
beautiful. Yeah.
all that stuff is able to keep food on the table and a roof over my head. The other stuff that I do is, also makes money, but it's also stuff that I enjoy doing because of the people that I get to play with. The guys in Hard Night Stay, the guys in Who's Best, the guys in all these different bands that I play with, and playing with Salim and with Chris. Working on that big Kessler gig that we did to celebrate the release of Chris Holt's record, which is fantastic, and that was a lot of fun doing that with him. So these things are all, they all get pulled into this patchwork. I also get to do a lot of kind of one-off shows that I've done through the years. The Harry Nilsson tribute that we did at the Kessler ages ago. The All Things Must Pass show that we did. Big Mike was the proponent on that one. And we've got some others on the way as well. We just did a Badfinger one, which was a lot of fun.
Wow.
A lot of work, but man, it was really fun to get to do that.
Sounds amazing, yeah.
And we've got a very, very large show planned for next year.
Ooh,
that
I'm intrigued.
I can't really say much more than that. But
we'll keep in touch about that.
Holt's a part of that. Big Mike's a part of that. Eric Neal's a part of that.
Wow.
So having all these things going on at the same time, that keeps things interesting.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point. Now, why do I keep writing songs? I just like to write songs. I first wrote a song at age 4.
Yeah.
And I just like it. It's just fun for me. It's enjoyable. And I don't do it to try to, record a record that's going to be a hit. I just like writing songs and going in and recording them the best I can record them, and then getting to hear them. It's like that. There's something there now, where there wasn't something there earlier.
I understand completely. Yeah.
I got to, as Frank Zappa says, I got to I got to paper the air with sounds. I got to play around with sonic material. So that's kind of the idea behind what I do. The whole point isn't to be some rock star or something like that.
Right.
I just like writing songs.
And that's the beauty of artistry right there. A lot of people, I feel like, outside of the arts see musicians all on this trajectory to be rock stars, to be center stage, to be on TV, to do all that stuff. When in reality, a lot of us are just wired to write, to create, to share, rinse, repeat, and it's just that mentality. Because I understand the same thing. I've never made a record with any intent of being like, I want to be famous.
Right.
It's like, I want to just share this weird little song I wrote about birds or whatever it may be.
Right.
But it's so meaningful to me that I feel like the process of writing it, recording it, and then sharing it is cathartic enough. It's enough for me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And then if we get those big shows along the way, sure, that's so fun.
If somebody hears the song and likes it, that's great.
Yeah. But it's all about the song. It always comes back to the music and sharing it. Paul, it has been a delight speaking with you today, getting to hang out, getting to catch up, hear about your journey. Thank you so much for sharing everything. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Averitt. And you can find out all kinds of great information about Paul's career, his history, and what he's up to at paulaveritt.com. Paul, thank you again for being here with us.
Thank you very much.
Been a pleasure.
Thanks for watching this episode of Highland Soundtracks. If you believe in what we're doing, showcasing local and national artists, please subscribe to our channel and help keep the music alive.